Morrowind, one of Bethesda's first great masterpieces. When it first came out, it blew people away with its large province that was handcrafted and the large amount of quests that was packed into the game. Now, over 10 years later, with everyone's focus on the graphics and the gameplay of Skyrim and having Oblivion in our recent memory, Morrowind graphics, sounds, and gameplay look and feel outdated. Many people, after experiencing Oblivion in Skyrim, say they are never going back. Other people have tried Morrowind through recommendation of friends, co-workers, but couldn't get over how old everything looked and felt. Finally, there are those that haven't even tried Morrowind. If you are one of those, or just want to make Morrowind look, sound, and play better, then you are in the right place. This is the Morrowind Redefined Modding Guide. You're currently watching footage of Morrowind Redefined in action. The graphics look better, people move around more realistically, the combat is more fluid, you can do more things in combat. You can now block, dodge away, do backstab, and a lot more. There are more options open to you, like your magic regenerates. It may be slow at first, but it does regenerate. This is how the game should play when we are done today. In this video, I will teach you how to install mods successfully, to make sure they're working, that change the sound and graphics, how leveling and combat works, and make the island of Redefined. So now, I'm going to leave you to watch the rest of what Morrowind Redefined should look like. And when I return, I will be showing you what vanilla Morrowind is like for comparison's sake. Okay, I'm back. This is vanilla Morrowind. There's little differences. Definitely, other one looks better. People look better. If you go in here and stand here long enough, you'll see that people don't change positions. They're standing in the same place all the time. At least they do inside. Outdoors, they move around a little bit. Now, let's go pick a fight. But before we do, I want to try something out. You notice one time before, while I was recording with all the mods installed, there were times when I had to slow down to recover fatigue. Fatigue is very important. In vanilla, it is not as important. And that's because there's less things you can do in combat. I'll show you. Let's first cast the spell. Okay. So you can move it around a little, but not much you could do. There is not much. I still have that spell working, so let's try to cast something else. Let's cast shield. Find. You notice something? My Magica doesn't regenerate at all, unlike the other games. Now, I did get a mod once that regenerated. With the mod I'm using with this Morrowind Redefined, generates depending upon either wisdom or intelligence, I don't know. But you better pick carefully when you're choosing your class if you're gonna use magic and you want it to regenerate. But as you see in vanilla, it does not regenerate at all. The Morrowind Redefined was regenerating a little bit, not a lot. Let's harvest these. You saw me harvest those on the road. Let's harvest these. Look, It's like I'm looting the plant. Yeah. And of course it's all foggy here. It's hard to see. It can be better. Well, this was just for comparison. I hope you. This is Vanilla Sky. This is Vanilla Morrowind, and next time I will be recording on my desktop. So now we're ready to start changing Morrowind. Before we get started, however, there are a few things that you will need. You will need Morrowind sound graphics overhaul. Just sound and graphics overhaul. You can just type in Morrowind overhaul. It'll take you to this site. You then you go down to the 3.0 release. So here it is. That's right. You wanted a direct download from our server. I'm sorry it took me so long time to find that. And you will get a file like this. MGSO3-0 final.rar. And that's the Morrowind overhaul. It's really the sound and graphics overhaul. The second thing you'll need is the Morrowind mod manager. You get that by going to the Morrowind Nexus. You can just type it in here. Morrowind mod manager. See? And you download it from the file section. Download manually. And go into my downloads. You can see I have it. Next is my manager 2626070. And the third file you'll need right away, without delay, is called Morrowind Enhanced. And you're gonna want the dev kit version. You'll get it from planetelderscrolls.com. There it is. And so you install that. And as you see, I have it right there. So those are the first three things you need to get to and do this tutorial with me. So come back when you have those three. Now the Morrowind sound graphics overhaul will take a while, depending on your network system settings. It will take a while, so download those three, get into a place where you can find them. I keep it in a separate folder, in my downloads folder. You can put them on your desktop. It doesn't matter. Just put them where you can find them. And pause this and come back when you're ready to move on. Hello. So, yeah, I just want to make sure it's recording. I hope you've gotten those files I told you you needed. Again, let's pull them up. They were the Morrowind graphics and sound overhaul, the Morrowind mod manager, and the Morrowind development kit. I'm bringing them to my desktop for now. Put them back here later. I'm actually gonna copy them to my desktop. Copy, paste, copy, paste, and copy, paste. Cancel. Copy, paste. That takes a while. Okay, so now we have the three files. And first, we're going to work with this one. So we right-click on it. You should have WinWare for this project. If you don't, WinWare works with most files anyway. You're gonna select Extract Files. You're gonna go to your Morrowind folder where the Morrowind executable is. Mine is Computer, New Volume, My Games, Bethesda Softworks, and Morrowind. Select that and say OK. And then it's gonna unload. Okay. Now we'll open that folder up. So My Games, Bethesda, Morrowind. And we see here the MO installer. We see a few other things. Don't worry about them. There's an installation guide, but I'll show you how to install it. You don't need that. Okay. So now we go to the MO installer and we click that. And you get this. And this group on the helicopter or whatever it's called, it's a very good group because they really make sure that you have the things you need. So, for example, it checks to make sure that Morrowind is properly installed. And that everything is working. That's good. It should check that. And you should check that. Anyway, so let's go on. And again, this is another thing that you should check anyway. So, and that's good. That's good that they have it there. If you don't have these, you probably should quit and work to update it. Anyway, let's go on. This is also good that it checks this. But I'll give some information. I have like seems up to date. I think it's fine. Let's go next. This is seems up to date. So that's fine. And these are all good checks, and you should check this. And that's fine. Okay. Now it's going to extract the files and say backup to vanilla. That's a good idea anyway. And it's backing it up. It's decompressing it and compressing the backup, which is good. Okay. And now it's extracting the data files. Okay. Now, so that's done. Now it's asking you for your performance. Now, I have a pretty good PC. And I don't know if I have what you could do is you can go into your control panels. Go to System. So I have an Intel Core i7. That's good. I have 16 gigs of RAM. And we go to Device Manager. We go to I see the 6 GTX 670. So I do think that's better than everything that's said here. So I'm going to say very fast PC. So I'm glad because that's what I think I have. Let's close these. And we'll click next. Then it's going to unpack the BSA archives. Now it's going to install, it's going to launch the Morrowind code patch. Now, this is something that is available online, but the Morrowind graphics and sound overhaul includes it. So you don't need it. It's not only redundant, but it requires that you do this step, and so you don't need to get it. It's included. So let's launch the code patch. And as you see, I'll get that. Not gonna do that. Not gonna do that. Just pick what you want. I'm gonna come back when I pick what. Okay, these options are just for modding support. I recommend that you select them. Just makes it you won't have to repeat this if you have a mod that requires one of those supports. Okay, and these bugs fixes, I recommend that you leave them all checked. And let's apply chosen patches, and we click next. This changes some values in your Morrowind. You may need to launch your game first, not just start a new game, just launch into the game so that Morrowind will create it before you can do this. I'm not sure about this, but I recommend doing that. Okay, now it is EXE Optimizer. Once again, this is recommended. Okay, and then we just choose the folder again. My games. Morrowind. And you don't have to do anything, it works automatically. Okay, now you can choose the options. So let's launch this. I'm gonna go with the, even though I used that one for a moment, but I like this. Okay, I'm gonna leave the realistic dark, improved heads. Sorting icons. Animated. Gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that. So that's all. And then we get to here. And we'll leave that. Apply. Okay. So now we're on Morrowind launcher. I don't have Morrowind on Steam, so I don't have to worry about this. But if you have Morrowind on Steam, you don't have to do this. Now this is very important. It's important to pay attention because you're gonna need this. And it's called Morrowind Load Order Executables. That's what MyLock stands for. Load order is something important when you mod Morrowind. MyLocks is a program that can automate it automatically. Run MyLocks. Okay. Your system seems to be 64 bits. So you have only 16 bits. But you have more equal the program more optimizes the Morrowind executable to reduce crash and improve performance. Of course, this is important. And all these things are automatic. The Morrowind graphics extender. This is another thing that you don't need. It has it as well. Okay, let's go next. You can, I think you can always go back into it. Let's see. No. Well, I think you can always go back to it. I'd recommend just simply select the automatic settings and run. For this, you're gonna want to go to what screen resolution is. 1920 to 1080. You can make it larger if you want to. I recommend sticking to that. And I'll just give it screenshots. Okay, now it's installed. Now, let's put this aside. We can get rid of this. I still have it in my downloads area in case I need to install it. There's a few things we want to do before we go on. First thing we want to do is we want to send this to our desktop. There it is. And we'll just rename it Morrowind Graphic Extender. So we know what it is. And the next thing you're gonna want is the Morrowind code patch in case you want to make changes in that. So send to desktop. There it is. Rename. code patch. Then you want to send to your desktop. The Morrowind graphics and sound. And just say Morrowind overhaul options. So if you want to change those at all. And finally, you want my locks. And my locks is here. Again, you just send to desktop. And my locks is one of the most important things you're gonna want. Just Morrowind load order. And that is it. Now you're going to have a lot of files. So I recommend that you create a new folder. Delete Morrowind. Put all these in here. And then we want to send it to sorry, no, that's wrong. We want to create new toolbar, and the toolbar we want to create is the Morrowind toolbar, and you say select folder, and you see there it is, and we can move it. You can move it around. Second. That's, hold on a second. Okay, let's try this again. New toolbar. Desktop. Morrowind. Select folder. There it is. And all your options are here. Okay. So that is all you need from this. But leave this open because you're going to want to do 2 more things. Oops, I got rid of the wrong one. Don't do what I did. You want to get rid of this. Correct. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this. This is the Morrowind Enhanced. And again, we're going to go WinRAR, extract files, and the same folder. Morrowind. And we go back. We see that Morrowind Enhanced is there. Now we do the same thing. We go to there it is. Send to desktop and put it into the Morrowind folder. You're going to be launching your game from this Morrowind Enhanced. Rename it just Morrowind Enhanced. Okay. So now that you have that, you close. And you can delete this. The next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to unpack this and you can unpack it here to the desktop, go in here and say setup. Next, accept. That's where it is. That's okay. And desktop icon, install. We're not going to launch it just yet. But now we can get rid of both these files and let's just empty the bin. I'm also gonna, you don't need that. You're gonna unfortunately it comes with the Oblivion symbol. So we're going, if you get that, all you do is the properties, change icon, and you're gonna, let's give it the same icon as more enhanced. Or you can go to your, let's see. We'll go to the Morrowind folder. Okay. Apply. And we drag that in there. Now we have the Morrowind Mod Manager. Okay. Now. So that is, now everything is ready. If you go into your game, your game will look like just will look like just like it was in the preview video. There isn't much different. We'll go into it later. There's some other things. So that basically overhauls your graphics and sound. Updates it, makes it look better. Now what we're going to do a few more steps. We're going to improve the gameplay. And that means that we're going to install a few other mods. So now you're gonna need to get these mods. Ace Air Attack, Ace Backstab, Ace Books, Ace Charge, Ace Subtitles, Blocking Enhanced, and Combat Enhanced. All of these use the Morrowind Enhanced program. You can find these two on the GameSpy type it in. Planet GameSpy, Planet Elder Scrolls on GameSpy, part of the IGN network. There is the file, Combat Enhanced version 12, and of course you see this. There's the Blocking Enhanced. To get the other files, you're going to need to type in Morrowind Enhanced Add-ons. You're going to go to Galahut's Morrowind mod list. These also take you to Planet Elder Scrolls and GameSpy. You can get these if you want. Just know what they do. What we want is Combat Enhanced add-ons. And here is all the Combat Enhanced. You want Ace Subtitles, Ace Air Attack, Backstab, Books, and Charge. The link to the rage indicator doesn't work, so you may want to look it up somewhere else if you really want that. but these add to it, making it easier to use. The air attack looks maxed up in charge, and more things you can use in combat, and ace subtitles as messages box to appear when the combo is successful, and the ace books gives you information on the combos. Now, talking about ace, ace stands for ailerons combat enhanced, and it has, as you can see, 30 different combat combos. It has a trance mode, which basically slows down time. It allows you to do things faster, or rage slows down time even further, but you can't do that all the time. And then difficulty sliders. So, and it just gives you more control over the combat, more things you can do. It makes it more fluid. You also want the blocking enhanced. That gives you control over the blocking enhanced. Gives you control. It gives you the ability to block. I mean, so instead of I have a shield. Usually the shield does not. You have a chance of blocking. You block automatically or you don't. It's a chance. Whereas here you get how to control it by pressing a button, and then as long as you have that button pressed, you will be blocking. Of course, you can't attack when you're blocking. If you attack, you won't be blocking. So there are rules to it, of course, but it makes it again more fun, more fluid. So now we know what it's about and where to find it. I'm going to show you how to install it. Now, installing mods for Morrowind is not like installing mods for Oblivion and Skyrim. They don't have their own installer like you had for the Morrowind overhaul. Most mods are not like that. So we'll work here in this window, and we're going to start with Combat Enhanced. We're going to open it into its own folder. And what I'm going to do, you see, it has an ESP here and an ESP here. And that is too much ESPs for the mod manager. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder called Combat Enhanced. Then I'm going to create a new folder called Data. Then I'm going to go here. I'm going to I'm going to copy this, no, this, these items, copy, and paste. So there is only one ESP. Now this this file is a compatible file with another mod called Total Conversion. If you want that, you're gonna want this file instead of this file. But you don't want both files. Okay. You can then compress it. Or I just leave it as is. Now, I go to my mod manager and I go create. Now you can add a description if you want. You can add to the title and it's alarm. But for speed's sake, just gonna you can add, author. You can do all that if you want. But for speed's sake, I'm just gonna say this is combat enhanced. We're gonna add folder. It is in libraries, documents. Wait a second. No. Downloads. Morrowind mods, combat enhanced. And there's the folder. That's all you need. That's the folder you want. Now, let's check it out. You said you do not want. So let's go. Let's see. These are the meshes. We do not want more than one ESP in here. These are the sound files. It doesn't look like it has more than one ESP. So let me make sure that we have the right folder. Combat enhanced. And yes, because it has just that ESP. Create and mod. Say yes. As long as you are sure that it doesn't have more than one ESP, then it's fine. And click it to activate it, and let's just look alphabetically. There it is. look at edit. Wait a second. Go into the folder. No, that's not it. Okay, is not activated correctly. So let's edit. Let's delete. Create. And archive. Downloads. Mods. Or you can just set data. Let's see what happens. Cancel. Now it worked. That's odd. Combat enhanced. Create mod. Yes. Sorry about that. I still don't see it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Finally. Now, next one we're gonna want is you're gonna want the locking enhanced. Did I not take it? Oh, there it is. It's a zip file. It's the same thing. Just blocking enhanced again. That so just say folder blocking enhanced. Copy, paste. Then we go to the mod manager. Say create. This is blocking, enhanced, and add folder, locking enhanced. There we go. Create int mod. Yes, yes. Okay. Activate. And there it is. Okay. Then we're going to do the same kind of thing. You only want one, and you basically want a directory for every one of them. So this is okay. I'm just gonna extract new. I'm gonna call this combat enhanced subtitles. Combat enhanced subtitles. And I'm gonna drag this in there. Go mod manager, create, and folder. Got it, great. And if you have it sorted, delete. Combat enhanced subtitles. Folder. Okay, create mod. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, there it goes. I'm going to get the okay. For this one, it has book art. This is Ace Book. So what you're gonna want to do is go to folder combat enhanced books. Then you're gonna want to copy and paste it in here, and then copy and paste that in there so it has both of those. Then you'll do it the normal way. Okay, so now I have the rest of them loaded. Remember what you put into the title when you create the mod. The mod, and mods are mod. They're basically mod packs. That's what will appear up here. So then all you do is put them in here. And if we look, double click them to and you see here is locking, and we go out to here, and here's all the extras. So now, that's all, and we can close. Do not launch Morrowind from here. Okay. Now, we're going to want to start the Morrowind load order, my logs. This will make sure that everything, there's all the H, everything is in the appropriate location. Okay, then you're going to want to start the Morrowind Enhanced. Before you, this is where you're going to launch the game. You see launch Morrowind, this is where you can click here to auto launch. I don't care for it. But this is where you go to launch it. Let's see. So Alt is blocking. Make sure that these keys work for you. And I'm going to go to the game controls on my manual. And I see that Z and X are not used, so I'm going to say Z is trance and X is rage. And I set the blocking on 50. Careful with the blocking. Read the instruction manuals. You may want to bookmark ACE blocking or blocking enhanced manual. You don't want to bookmark. It says that the default game, the minimum blocking chance is set to 50. For the purposes of this plugin, it was necessary to increase that limit to 100. However, this has one side effect. NPCs will also block your attacks more efficiently. The only solution to this problem is available to users in another more enhancement. Common enhance. It includes an option to modify the block skill of enemies you faced. Setting the block skill slider to 0.50 will have enemies' block skills, returning them to a normal blocking rate. That's what I did for my peace of mind. If you care to make it harder, you can. Remember, these are enemy difficulty settings. So the higher you make it, the more they'll have. The more they will be able to. And then you're ready to launch into the game. So I am recording with Hypercam now, so I'll be back recording fraps in the game. Okay, I left something out. So go back to your downloads. What we're gonna want is Gaussia's character development. Now that is available. You can type it in on the Planet Elder Scrolls site, and what it does is it changes the leveling system to make it seamless. Limits are removed from skills and abilities, and skill gain is slowed down to exponentially to preserve game balance. skills influence, attributes, health, and magicka. Characters remain diverse throughout the game. Strengths and weaknesses dependent on initial with strengths and weaknesses dependent on initial skill choices, skill increases, and racial factors. It also includes optional magic regeneration, which I believe is linked to your character's intelligence. So basically, the higher that attribute, the more your magicka will regenerate. I may be wrong about that. You should see the readme. It may be wisdom, because that is what the magicka regenerates for Oblivion. And matter of fact, if we go right in here, we go down to magicka willpower. Magic regeneration is affected by initial magic skills, current skills, willpower, and fatigue. That means the more you have of this stuff, the more it will regenerate. Okay. So, now there's a lot involved in getting this mod set up. As normal, we'll extract it to its own folder. Here it is. And then we will just create a new folder called Galcia's Character Development. So you shouldn't need any of the patch unless you use any of the mods that are listed in this list. You want to know what you need, you go to the compatibility, see there are a lot of here it is. Read me first. There are a lot of ESPs. You need to choose which ones you're going to want. First, now let's copy this file into the character development folder. Then we're going to create character development difficulty folder, and in that folder we're going to put the settings we want. I like it fairly easy, so that's what I'm going to put in. And then we go, these are patches. We go back to the README. The balanced birth signs. Which are over here. Is good. So balanced birth, better birth signs. This has a start script for Tribunal or Blood Moon. Obvious what it is. This is restore potion fix. It fixes the problem of the restore tribute potion. And this is a over 60 level speed up. It speeds up character leveling once the player reaches level 60. And all of those you want, you can, if you want them, you can put it in it. Each one has to have its own folder. So I am going to create a folder for each of these, and I'll that I want, and then I'll come back when I'm done. Okay, so now I have all the ones I want. Of course, I select most of them. And now we're ready to install the mods. Again, you only want one ESP per folder. So now we go to the mod manager and create. And select the folder. Start with Galsia's character development, because everything else requires this. And create. So now I will create the mods and load them in off camera, and I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, so now I have it all the mods installed. They're all over here. See, I actually labeled them GCD and then the name, just so that I know that they're with the Galsia's character development, just like it is on the ESP name over here, just for some consistency. So now we can close the mod manager, and we'll go to my locks. Morrowind, load order, executable. Well, now it says we need to update load order. You see, here's all the reports. And update. And now everything should be in their place. Okay. Now Morrowind is ready to run. So you go to Morrowind Enhanced and you go launch. And as I said before, this time it's gonna be for real. I'll see you in game where we will check out what we've installed. Okay, we're in the game. Now, as you see, this is as normal. Excuse me. It says normal as the graphics is as it was before, as beautiful. This is Morrowind overhaul sound and graphics over the Morrowind sound and graphics overhaul. Hold on a second. Okay. So that was a little bit too loud. Anyway, so let's go over here for a moment and show you how this this fighting thing works. Usually there are 3 ways of hitting. That's the thrust, that's the up and down slash, and this is the left and right slash. And if you use different combinations of those 3, you come across Errolorn's combos that came with the combat enhanced. And so now it won't happen right now because I'm not in combat, but you see how that works. And if I hold the Z key, that is my let's put away my sword. On my Z key, you see that people move a lot slowly. That gives me the chance to react. But it does drain your fatigue, I believe. And if I hold down my Alt key, I'm now blocking. I could do this with a sword out or not. And even if I don't have a shield, then the sword will be the one that's doing the blocking. If I have a shield, then the shield will be the one that's blocking. Anyway, so let's pick a fight to show you how exactly this works. There should be a fight somewhere down here. Oh, and you notice those things come off right away. if you harvest them, they're removed, not partially removed, like before. Because of all this overgrowth, I'm a little disoriented. Okay, Z. I missed. You see how much things are glowing? These are going way too slowly. Uh-oh. Don't come to me. You see, I just healed at the end of the fight. That was hard. It's not easy to get all those combos, I'll tell you, but they are there. And I didn't do it. It'll take practice. I promise you that. It will take practice. It's not something that you can do right off the bat. Anyway, so that is an example of the combat in this new. Look at how far I can see. It is amazing. That is thanks to the Morrowind sound and graphics overhaul. Anyway, so I think that's enough to give you a taste of how the combat feels and how, you already seen how this looks. That's my video before. There's just a few things missing. For example, the people don't move around realistically. Some of them just stand there, and yeah, they do move around, but they don't have daily schedules. And if you go indoors, they don't move around at all. So, I think that's a problem we will fix actually next time, because this video has gone on long enough. So, please join me for part 2 of the Morrowind Redefined. And I hope this has been informative for you. Thank you.